Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Seahawk Talk here on the Salve Athletics Network. I'm your host, Andrew Pizzelli. Friday here on the Seahawk Talk program. That means winter sports. We'll be talking to Thor Brochu of our men's basketball team, followed by Zech Klann and David Lund, the head coaches of our men's and women's ice hockey teams, and then we'll round out the show talking to Cori Hughes, the head coach of our women's basketball team. We have the producers here as well to give their takes at the top of the show, but as always, want to remind everyone to talk straight and to keep your distance. That is Ed Habishaw and The Shake with their rendition of Keep Your Distance. That is our daily reminder here on the Seahawk Talk program to keep your distance, social distancing, mask wearing, all of the things that we have heard about all this time. Just always reminding you to do those things. And as always, we're going to bring in the producers now to lead off today's show, Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco. We'll go ahead and bring them in on from backstage. Fellas, how are we doing here today? And what do we have here to lead off today's program on a Friday afternoon?
We're doing pretty good, Andrew. The first thing, if Joey doesn't mind me going first, I just wanted to highlight very quickly was that there's a property. If I can pull this into the stream really quick, it's a Salvation Army owns the building. It's up for sale. So if you're looking for a property around Newport, just to flip or just to have, this is up. But the cool thing about it is all the money will be staying within the community. All the money made from the sale of this building, Salvation Army will then be putting into their other building they have in Memorial Boulevard. And that building on Memorial does a lot of great things like feeding programs and heating and clothing programs. So just a great cause. If you are looking for a house, this is a way to do it and do something good for your neighbors as well.
Kind of just more, but again, circling back to one, you pulled this, and I have pulled a story too out of the Newport Daily News. So just more of that focus on local and giving back to your community. And, it's kind of, we got to focus we have the big picture, but if you put your energy and time into the small picture in your local community, if everybody does that, then that helps the big picture. So.
Exactly.
Joey, what do you got for us?
I don't have anything local for you guys. I was trying to find something and Mike kind of stole my thing. But I did see that there's rumors that they've cast Miss Marvel for the Disney Plus show, which I think is going to be really cool because that's the first Muslim superhero, and I'm really excited about that. And I didn't know there was going to be a show, so the fact that we know there's going to be a show, I think, is really big news for representation in media, especially like superhero media. So that's cool. Not a local thing. Couldn't find something local really to talk about, but I got something.
Hey, TV show news is going to become more important. The around now is when we get what's coming new to Netflix, what's coming new to Amazon Prime. As we're heading towards those colder months where we can't be outside as much, the Netflix, the Prime, all those things that we were just consuming like rabid animals back in March and April become more important. I wanted to bring up something I found in the local paper as well. We spoke a lot about yesterday about mental health, and everybody is feeling the crunch and the stress. Evidently, nature is feeling stressed too, because this was in the Daily News. Heat drought could stress trees into early color, which we have seen. I mean, I'm looking out my window right now, and I see yellow leaves, and sometimes we never even get the foliage season here in southern New England. It starts to turn, and then we get a windstorm, and it blows all the leaves off. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's late. Obviously, only the second day of October, and we're seeing plenty of color and plenty of changes. So just a little interesting thing. I know part of our message has been about getting outside and the benefits of that. So if we've got a little bit of early foliage here, just another thing to go outside. I know that was, I think, in one of the Salve videos we played yesterday was about, the 10 things you can do. Hey, go outside, relax, and go check out the leaves. That's a pretty easy one to do. So.
Yeah, it'll be attracting a fair amount of tourists into the back into Newport too, which is good. As soon as the summer ones leave, it's the autumn ones that come right back. So if we're not missing anything, and also the businesses, as I said yesterday, will be staying open later. So all the more reason for these people to come back to Newport.
Go grab a pumpkin spice latte and check out the foliage.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, fellas, I'm gonna let you guys go on and head backstage and tediously work away here to help produce the Seahawk Talk program, and we'll talk to you again later at the end of the show.
All right.
All right. That's Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco. We're gonna turn now to Thor Brochu, senior on our men's basketball team. Thor, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for being here. I wanted to ask you first, everybody, a lot of athletes I've spoken to, the summer, and even for just people who are active, the summer was such a strange time depending on what you wanted to do. As a basketball player, as someone I know, I'm an avid basketball, player. I like to go out and play. I didn't have hoops. I don't have a hoop in my apartment building. I don't have a hoop. They took down the hoops in town. Had to have been hard, maybe given the situation, to stay sharp and keep your skills and everything. What was the summer like for you from a basketball standpoint for training?
Yeah, so it was definitely weird. So at the beginning of the summer, like once school got out, I was mostly at home. So I live in North Kingstown, Rhode Island, and I did have a hoop there. So I'd play with like my younger brother Clay, who's actually a freshman here at Salve. So we would play all the time. But besides that, I came to Newport for like the last 2 months of summer, and there was no hoops except for in Middletown. They had a hoop up. So some of the seniors also stayed this summer, and we would go there and we would work out. Like we'd wear our masks and stuff. And it was one time actually, me and my brothers made the news for playing at the park when people weren't allowed to be like on the playground, but we were allowed to play at the park for some reason. And I don't know, it was a big story on the news. So it was definitely different. But besides from going to the court and playing, we always would like try to go for runs, or like even in Newport, there's like an outdoor workout facility. So we would go there and try to just do whatever we could with that. But the biggest thing was just staying in condition, because we couldn't do much playing aside from like dribbling.
I was gonna say, I spoke with Liv Pierce, who's now an assistant coach with the women's team, about this last week. It was a missed opportunity to work on ball handling. I didn't even think about it. Like, I should have just been dribbling in my parking lot the whole time. A lot of work on that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, we would walk down Thames Street sometimes with the basketball and almost got it popped a few times, but it was all right.
That's always the test. I remember Paul Pierce told a story once about growing up in in Inglewood, California, and how he grew up poor and only having one ball. He said the test to work on my ball handling was dribbling down the sidewalk to the courts, because it's an uneven sidewalk and the ball might come back a different way, and you got to treat that one ball like gold. So it was doing that, the walking on the sidewalk thing. It can actually be good because you're ready for, obviously, if you can handle that, a flat, nice hardwood court is going to feel amazing to dribble a ball on.
Yeah, it definitely is a big difference.
So what's it been like then getting back to campus? I know you guys have gotten into the gym a little bit. That must be refreshing to be in, a real, true, what basketball was intended for, an indoor court environment.
Yeah, it's nice, but I feel like there's more regulations because we're inside, so we can't really play, I guess is kind of the word. Like we can shoot on the indoor court, which is really nice, and we can use the shooting machine, which kicks out the ball to us. So we're able to get more like game shots up, but there's no like kind of personal play, obviously, because of the social distancing. But it does feel a lot better. Like my first time stepping in the gym, I was able to wear like my indoor basketball shoes, and it was just like, it was nice because I didn't have to worry about falling on concrete and like scraping up my knees and stuff. So,
as I say, talk a little bit about what are the real differences between, obviously there's some obvious ones between, say, playing and working outside and playing and working in a gym where the game's meant to be played, but what stands out the most about the difference between those two workout environments?
The biggest thing is definitely jumping, because when you jump indoors, you don't have to worry about falling, because if you fall outdoors, you're going to get like road rash and you're going to have to clean it up with like Band-Aids, hydroperoxide, and everything. But when you're inside, you don't really have to worry about that as much. And so you can play more freely, I guess would be the word. But outside is more like rugged. Like you have to like stay low to the ground and like just take jump shots or like drive to the lane and not really jump. So that's the real big difference, I'd say. And obviously the wind too. Living in Newport, if you try to play outside, the wind kind of carries the ball a little bit, which is very frustrating at times.
I'd say that that outdoor workout facility, was that the court over at Gaudet? Is that where you were talking about?
There's a court right by yeah, we were playing at Gaudet for basketball, but the workout facility is right by the public library in Newport.
Okay.
And so it's just like there's some like cardio machines and there's a few like pull-up bars and stuff. Like
It's like
not much to do, but a lot of body weight stuff.
The wind at Gaudet is infamous, so trying to shoot a ball in that wind is a struggle.
Yeah, also one of the hoops is low there, so it's like just trying to adjust, you know.
And also the flip side of that is when you're inside and you airball, you can't say it was the wind.
Yeah.
There's no you don't have an excuse to fall back on. So obviously practice is different, but it's still practice. It's necessary. You guys are preparing and hopeful to have a season come January. What is the mindset like? How are you guys preparing for? Is it just one day at a time, 1 week at a time? And when you guys will actually get there? What will a preseason? Eventually, you have to really practice, but what does it take to get there?
So we're really taking it day by day. So we have like two different groups for the team. We have like our blue squad and our white squad, and those are two different pods. And so we're going day by day. We're trying to get our individual skills up day by day. We have about 3 months until our first, till the season's supposed to start. So we're going like in phases where like we're going to work on skills, and then eventually we'll be able to have contact. So we'll go like 2-on-2, 3-on-3. Eventually we'll get to 5-on-5, and really just taking it day by day and getting better each day is what we're trying to do. But I know for us seniors, it's like this is our year. We have a huge returning upperclassmen, like a lot of upperclassmen returning. We have a lot of talent, so I think we have a really good shot of winning it this year.
Now, when the season does eventually start, it will be primarily conference play. That's it. We want to minimize the amount of games and play the quote-unquote important games.
Yeah.
How important is that, because of that, to start well? All those games now mean more, so you want to make sure you're hitting the ground running, right?
Oh, yeah, certainly. So, yeah, when you have out-of-conference games, you like kind of think of it more as like a scrimmage almost, because it's not as important. But when it's just in conference, every game counts for like the point value to make the playoffs, to get a higher seed, and to eventually win it. So it definitely puts an emphasis on just being prepared. Like obviously knowing our opponents is really important. So once conference play starts, we definitely have to lock into scouting and everything. But I think with this 3 months, we'll have plenty of time to prepare and be ready. And we have all the tools. I think it's just a matter of executing. That's pretty much what I think it comes down to.
Yeah. Now, in Division III, it's all about the student athlete, and that's a tough enough balance as it is, because there is a rigorous demand academically, and there's just as much of a commitment and a rigor on the athletic side. So it takes a lot to do both. What is life like right now as a student athlete in the world of this pandemic?
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. So I'm a biochem major, so I have like quite a few science classes I'm taking. So I have a lot of work to do, like outside of the classroom, obviously. So it's really hard to balance it, but it's just a matter of having a structure throughout your day. So being a student athlete, like all of our classes are like, it's up to the teacher if we're going to be online or not. So like some of my classes are half and half. So it's just a matter of like just trying to figure out like what your teacher wants to do and like adjusting to their like wants, I guess. But it's different because you do have to put in more work when it's online, because you have to watch the class and then take notes and then do your assignments. And so it's just like adding a little bit of time because it's online, which can be frustrating at times when you don't have a lot of time in the day.
I was going to ask about being a biochem major. How much of the work you'd normally be doing would be labs, would be hands-on sort of stuff that now can't really happen the way it normally would? How's that adjustment?
So that's definitely different. Today, I was actually in physical chemistry lab, and usually that's 3 hours long, and there's like 15 to 20 people in your class. But today, it was literally me and one other student for an hour and a half just working on our experiment. So it's like the groups are much smaller, and so it's kind of good because you get to work with the teacher more, but it's definitely different because you don't have as much time because you have to cut the groups in half just for contact tracing and everything. But also in my cellular biology class, there's like online modules instead of doing actual labs. So that's a little bit different because you can't really focus on like the hands-on stuff. It's more of like just learning the applications of what you're doing.
Wow.
So less hands-on in some cases.
Do you think, do you ever think you'd have that moment as a student? Now you're a senior, so maybe there's a little senioritis there that would have been there already. But you'd be like saying, like, wow, I wish I could just go to class. Did you ever think that thought would cross your mind?
Yeah, actually, when we had classes online at first, like during quarantine, that's all I could think about because my teachers were having a hard time adjusting. I was like, I wish I was just in class. Like, this is awful. Like, I hate not being able to ask my teacher questions. Like, and like I pay for school, so like every day, like if there's like a computer problem, like I'm paying for that. So like I hated online class. So
Yeah.
being in person is just great to me.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be. We've talked. I know Coach Hughes has talked a lot about this, about like trying to see the positives. I think hopefully the positives now. You're a senior. Do you have any plans to do any sort of graduate work after this year?
I'm in the Masters of Business Administration program, so I'm going to take 2 master's courses next semester along with my biochem classes. So I'll have a BS in biochem and then hopefully my master's after that 5th year.
So you could hopefully we get back to the normal. I think for everybody that is still a student athlete during that, there'll be a greater appreciation for normal practice, normal classwork, and all those sorts of things that maybe you wouldn't even thought that you were taking for granted before.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. And so I worked downtown at a restaurant this summer, and even just like going to a restaurant was so much different. Like there's so many different things you have to do. Like everything's being cleaned constantly. You have to wear a mask when you're walking around. I just once everything goes back to normal, I think people definitely appreciate that more now that we've gone through this.
And as you said, this is your senior season. Obviously, that brings a greater sense of perspective and appreciation. I know you like this senior class. I want to focus on one person specifically who you've mentioned to me before. A little word association. I say Cam Collins, and you say
brother. He's definitely a brother to me. Cam, I've known Cam since freshman year, obviously, but we've grown really tight over the years. Last summer, he would stay at my house, because he's from Connecticut and he worked in Newport. He'd stay at my house 4 days a week, and then this summer we ended up living together in Newport, and I really can just go to him with anything, and he's our captain of the basketball team. He's a leader to me, and I would treat him like a brother. He's there for me, and I'm there for him.
Yeah. How important is this senior class to this team? Maybe injecting that extra bit of motivation, like you said, senior year, so much at stake to begin with. Now having to do all the right things and follow these protocols, and as you said, execute. How important is the senior class towards motivating your group for that?
I think the motivation just comes from us setting good examples. As seniors, we all kind of know what to do. I mean, obviously adjusting to this is different, but seeing if you're an underclassman, you see the upperclassmen working out all the time. You see them in the gym getting up shots. You see them. We're all talking to each other all the time. I think that kind of motivates the underclassmen. And once they see that, they just kind of do it. And so when all that comes together and we can work together as a one unit, I think this is going to be a really successful senior year. We have 4 returning seniors, myself, Steve, Kevin, and Cam. And then we have some returning juniors that are really talented as well. So I'm looking forward to this year. And once we can get everything clicking, I think we're going to be a problem.
Awesome. Gonna be a problem. I like that. Thor, thank you so much for coming on today. Great to see you, and good luck with this fall semester. And like we said, hopefully have some games coming this January.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you so much. That's Thor Brochu of South Virginia's men's basketball team. We're going to go now to the head coach of our men's ice hockey team, Zech Klann, once again joining the program. Zech, how we doing?
Andrew, doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. haven't talked to you in a couple weeks. We had one of your captains on last week, Dylan Carabia. Go ahead and just kind of give us an update from the coach's perspective on how the last 2 weeks have gone and where the team's at right now.
It's been one of those. It's good. Everything's good right now. We are going to get on the ice here as in our pods in the next week. So really looking forward to doing that. Actually, a week from Monday is when we'll begin on the ice. But we're going to start doing some off ice stuff as a group here this week. So just looking forward to getting around some of the guys and for the guys to be able to get some workouts in. But ultimately, we're about a week away from being on the ice together.
Yeah. Now, where will you guys be on the ice? Is it going to be somewhere consistent? I know we talked to Coach Lunn of the women's ice hockey team. There could be considerations. You guys might be at St. George's, could be at URI, could be at the Abbey. What is that scenario? Is there just must be a whirlwind of scheduling and planning, still going on?
I wake up every day and the first thing I do is check my email on my phone to see what kind of new things are going on. So still waiting to hear. There's a lot of different things that are going into this, things that we haven't been able to or haven't in the past been had to look at. But obviously with everything going on right now, there's a lot of different things changing and day to day things change. So just kind of waiting and every day we take a step forward in the right direction.
Yeah. Now I know you guys. We've talked before. Talked to Dylan last week. I know we've spoken to you before about your freshman class. How you guys are excited for them. How important is it though to see not just those guys? You've gotten to meet them now, but getting and seeing them on the ice and seeing them in person, what they can do. Because the recruiting aspect this spring and summer was you couldn't do that. You have probably only seen tape of these guys and the difference between watching tape on a guy and seeing what he can actually do on the ice.
Absolutely. For us, we're just looking forward to getting back on the ice. The senior class, they've been through a lot together as a group. And I think that they're going to be kind of the spearhead of this season. And I think the guys, the junior class, the sophomore class, I think that, they've seen and heard, what, the senior class has been through. So I think that group is very motivated, to get back and competing against other teams. And I think the freshman class coming in, we're excited to get everybody together and, have them learn the ropes of how things are done here and also, be able to contribute right off the bat. So, I think right from the senior class down, I think guys are really itching to start, playing as a team. But, I think the senior class has a lot to prove and they're very motivated to get back on the ice here and get going with everybody else following.
Yeah. From being around your team, I know it's a great group of guys. They're a fun group. And usually, you wouldn't worry too much about guys getting to know each other and that sort of stuff. What have you guys done maybe to try and bridge that gap because of the COVID thing for guys to say, integrate, get to know each other, bond as a team when there's so many restrictions right now?
It's the small groups. It's trying to have our older guys reach out to the younger guys, make sure that they feel that they're not on an island. Hence they are on an island, but not here by themselves, and that there is a method to this madness, and once things settle down, they're going to know the voice and the face. So that's one thing that's very exciting about this week. Being able to start potting off here and doing some off ice workouts, and then slowly getting more involved. And when we get on the ice, a week from Monday, that'll be an exciting time for us. And I think that way we'll be able to pod guys in different, groups. So, eventually we'll get the whole team there. But for the first couple of weeks, we'll break it off with some older guys, with some younger guys, just to get guys moving.
Yeah. What about for you personally, Zech? I mean, what has been the last month? I can tell you got the beard kind of starting to go here. You got the beard, forgetting to shave maybe, but what's life been like for you? How's your family? How's everything going?
It's been it's a little bit, it's good. Everything is is really good. My wife's a second grade teacher, so she's off to a great start to her year. Definitely some different things for her to look forward to every day. But the little ones are doing well. Noah's about ready to pull himself up and take a step here, and Gracie's got us on our heels. But all in all, life is very good. It's definitely a challenging time, but I'm proud of how everybody's come together at the school here, and that we're making strides each day in a positive way. So hopefully we can continue to do that, and be on the ice in a week here, and don't look back.
Yeah. Bit of a logistical question. If we're playing at the Abbey this just January, I know you've talked before about giving me a helmet up in my broadcast spot because we've had some stray pucks come pretty close during games. Will we be putting up maybe plexiglass because of the COVID thing? What's going to be the coffee protocol before games? I mean, there's a lot of things here. I just want to make sure these are in the plan.
Well, we'll still have the boxes of Joe going, hopefully. But no, we can get you a helmet. Maybe we'll have to put you up by the warm room if we're there, but we'll definitely make sure that you're taken care of.
Anyway, just had to have a little bit of fun with that. Hey, Zech, great to see you. Always a pleasure. Looking forward to you getting in with your guys, like you said, and getting the season rolling. Hopefully, it can be a great one. And we'll talk to you again soon here.
Absolutely, Andrew. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure talking. I look forward to to giving you an elbow bump here and being able to talk in person here. So stay safe, my friend, and we'll talk soon.
You as well. All right. There goes Zech Klann, the head coach of South Virginia's men's ice hockey team. We're going to take a short break and be back with David Lunn, the head coach of our women's ice hockey team. Don't go anywhere.
What's up, Salve students?
It's Sean Johnson
and Andrew East.
We can't wait to join you guys on Friday, October 2nd at 7 p.m.
We're going to be joining you on WebEx to do a Q&A session brought to you by the Campus Activities Board. Can't wait to see you there.
All right, welcome back to Seahawk Talk. I am your host, Andrew Pizzelli. We're going to go now to the head coach of our women's ice hockey team, David Lunn. David, how are we?
Doing well. How you doing, Paz?
Pretty good. I guess just let's go. Just the general stuff. The update.
Sure.
How's the team doing? Obviously progressing towards that ice time. What are your updates here from women's ice hockey?
Yeah, it's been a trip so far. It's just more planning and getting logistics taken care of right now. Trying to deal with rinks, trying to deal with administrative things, but we're starting to get settled in here. We got a schedule going, so we're. I caught a little bit of Zech's interview there, but yeah, we're kind of on a similar path here. We're going to be getting together as a team off ice starting next week. And then the following week, Tuesday, we'll be jumping on the ice over at URI and meeting 3 to 4 times a week. So things are starting to fall into place and get rolling. So we're excited.
Yeah. How much communication, obviously do you get to have in person with your players? We can all do the Zoom thing. We can all do the text thing. But how important has it been to speak face to face with the athletes, seeing as you're, a brand new head coach for them?
Yeah, for sure. It's been a trial. It's trying to match schedules, everything in between. But I think it's important. It's a little bit a bit of both. I've had an opportunity to meet with pretty much everybody face to face in some manner or another. Some a few more than others, and then obviously substituting it in between with like Zoom calls if our schedules don't match or whatever the case may be. But I think it's important to break that barrier and for me personally, not knowing or having that relationship yet, it makes it tough with a mask on to kind of just see eyes and get to know names and faces so far. So I'm still going through that process. I've messed it up plenty of times already, but it definitely makes it a little more challenging.
It's unprecedented territory for all of us, so mistakes are okay. We're all going to make them. You have no idea the number of times each week we're all on mute on this, and either I'm talking or somebody else is talking or I'm muted. Mistakes, missed links, it's all new, so mistakes will happen. From your standpoint right now, getting to know the team a little bit, obviously I'm sure you've gone back and be able to watch film and talk to people about the team, but what stands out to you right now about the team and what you have?
It's tough for me to evaluate on the ice. I can watch video and have critique and and break things down that way. I have a general idea of what our makeup is, some of our stronger suits, maybe some of our weaker suits. But again, I can only get a feel from video. It's a totally different aspect, in the person, in the flesh. But one thing I'm actually been impressed with, and something that I've had to deal with quite lately, is the logistics issue of ice. And the girls actually kind of really organized themselves and kind of helped me out. Without their assistance, I wouldn't have been able to really take care of what we need to take care of. So just them coming together, kind of taking the bull by the nose and organizing themselves, getting the information that I needed to, help them along the way. So it's so far that leadership aspect, that camaraderie, has been there. So I've been impressed with that so far. Absolutely.
Anyone specific who stood out for you? Who are those leaders right now early on in your team?
Yeah, I mean, I've asked the senior core, the core of girls to kind of be my eyes and ears right now, a leadership group, quote unquote. So that senior class so far has stepped up to the plate, where they've done what I've asked them so far and gone above and beyond. So those 6 seniors right now have been kind of a crutch for me to lean on a little bit. And I've been impressed with their leadership quality and their voice in the locker room, or lack thereof for right now, the lack of the locker room. But that those girls have so far been a helping hand for sure.
So you're approaching the on the ice aspect of things. How about off the ice? What has the team been up to? Have they done anything off the ice together, more of that what's allowed and can happen from that team building, or just that participation type of stuff?
Yeah, I know they've had their get-togethers with the safety protocols in place. I've been stressing that from day one. I know that they've met with some of the newer girls. There are a few girls that are trying to try out as well. So, incorporating them into the mix and making a cohesive group. So, there's still a lot for us to be done. And as a group outside of our initial meeting, we haven't had a lot of meetings together. We haven't had a lot of camaraderie opportunities in terms of just, sweating or laughing or crying type of thing. It's, that'll be starting this upcoming week, starting Monday, will be our first real opportunity to kind of give ourselves a shot of adrenaline in the arm.
Yeah. Will that be the moment that you feel comfortable? You're on ice, you're focusing on hockey things, or do you think you're not going to feel comfortable? This whole season is just going to be uncomfortable in a whirlwind.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a good question. I feel comfortable now. There's obviously situations where it starts to get a little stressful and trying to get everything in place. You have an idea, it kind of blows up on you, and you got to go back to the drawing board and redraw, replan. So but like I said, the team, the girls so far have made me feel welcome. They've been eager to help in any way they can. They've offered to help. So I feel comfortable now. Obviously, when you get on the ice and kind of get in your element, everything kind of melts away beyond that, and you kind of just focus on whoever's on the ice with you, that 200 by 80 foot sheet of ice, and what's going on there in front of you. So that's the easy part. It's everything else around you that's outside the rink that kind of makes it tough. But again, I think so far the Salve community's been very welcoming, and the 29 girls that I have on roster right now have been very welcoming as well.
Yeah. What about for you? Personally, away from hockey, away from the ice. How you've been in the last week. Did you get to catch the end of the Stanley Cup? I know we've talked about that a couple of times.
Yeah. So yeah, I did watch Tampa raise the cup. I watched a little bit of that. It's with everything going on, I haven't found a lot of time to really tune into the playoffs. Unfortunately, this year I've watched. I've tuned in here and there, but I made sure that I watch. I always like to watch. The cup being presented and the guys hoisting it, and I think it's just a very unique. Presentation. It's a very unique thing in the world of sport, and you always get a little tickle on the arm, the hairs stand up when you see guys kind of celebrating and just letting it out. I think that's always a cool thing to watch. So I had an opportunity to watch that. I was happy for Tampa, happy for Stamkos, some of those guys. It's tough to see Dallas with some of the veterans they have in that group that may have been the last kick of the can or what the case may be. But it was a good series. I thought they Dallas kind of ran a little flat there in Game 6, but it was definitely a good series, fun series to watch.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point about the Stanley Cup. There's really no other championship trophy like it in all of sports. Normally, obviously no crowd this year, but even in situations where the road team wins the cup that night, the hockey fans stick around to see the cup presented, and there's a different level of, I think, maybe reverence and respect. And even for guys, I know when the Bruins won in 2011, they're in Vancouver, they're in their building, and there's certain Bruin guys who maybe were from Vancouver or from the area, and the crowd is cheering for them as they're parading the cup around in their own stadium that they just lost to. There's truly nothing like that. I think that's what's really interesting about hockey, is having a trophy and a championship ceremony that's like that. It's unlike anything else that I can think of in sports anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. It's it's a unique trophy, and it's just a unique celebration. And the guys, like you said, the guys in the hometown, if they're the Vancouver boys or wherever they are, hockey is such a small world. It seems that they come out of the woodwork to help you, to celebrate you, to cheer behind you, regardless if you're against their arch enemy or not. If they're a hometown boy and you have some connection there, it's always special to kind of have someone cheering for you there, and they make it known. So it's pretty cool. It's definitely a unique celebration, and the emotion definitely comes out there.
Yeah, even more unique given the fact that they were the first team to pull off complete their playoffs. I mean, we know the NBA is going to do it, but I think, to see that it's possible that a team came back, the whole bubble, I think it's a testament to the NHL. I don't think anybody tested positive once while they were up there. So kudos to them. And I guess, hey,
exactly,
that we for us, maybe at the D3 level, we don't think that what the NHL is doing, anything is doing, is going to affect us, but all these other sports, the D1s, the pro leagues pushing on, they're just laying the groundwork for us to know what does and doesn't work, and can only help us down the line, right?
Exactly. It definitely helps to have someone kind of, breaking the ice in front of you, and you kind of following in the wake a little bit behind. So, it's a good, it's a good kind of path to follow for sure.
Awesome. Well, David, I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thanks again for coming on, and
No problem.
Look forward to talking to you again next week.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. That's David Lunn, the head coach of our women's ice hockey team. We're now going to turn to Cori Hughes, the head coach of our women's basketball team. Cori, how are you here today?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I want to talk about, you guys, I think have been able to get some work in on the court, correct?
That's right. Our first practice was yesterday.
Oh, so today's day 2. Does it feel good to actually be in there, and for a moment, you just are disarmed and wow, I'm just coaching right now? This
yeah,
feels good.
It's actually it's actually mixed a little bit, because I actually said to our AD that for my whole collegiate playing career, and also as a coach, October 15th was the day, right? So this year, October 1st, it kind of threw me for a loop, but I was very happy. Christmas Day came a little bit early for us, and I don't know, it kind of snuck up on us, but it was very exciting to get in there. The kids seemed excited to be in there. We got some good work done, and we're just looking forward to getting back on the court today.
Yeah. Now, you guys, there's the pod thing, the phasing and everything, but when we get there, when we get to, say, late December and we get to the beginning of January, what will a game, what will a season at the beginning look like? I know I've seen a couple of things. Maybe elaborate on like what you know about the protocols as far as how a game's going to be run. I'm sure the bench is going to look different. There's going to be a lot of those game operations things that might be different. What is
Yeah.
basketball? Is it going to look the same on the court, or is it going to look completely different?
On the court, I think it's going to look the same. It will look different from the sidelines for sure. We'll all be masked. We'll be socially distanced. Certainly, there probably won't be fans. Those things seem pretty certain. But I think the game itself will look exactly the same. How we prepare is going to be a lot different. So maybe the game will be a little bit different. It'll take us a little while maybe to get our sea legs in that way. But I don't think the game itself is going to look any different. I mean, if you look at the NBA and the WNBA, I think it's going to look a lot like that. Socially distanced people, not a lot of fans, and people just playing basketball.
So terrible shooting percentages at the beginning and people hitting their rhythm a little later on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a challenge. I think too, with the way it is for Division III, especially where we just have a really long time off between semesters, and we're not going to have the advantage of having any games in the first semester to get ourselves ready for conference play. So I think you're going to see a lot of rust on those wheels in the beginning. But I think the good news is that everybody's in the same boat, so we'll all be a little bit rusty. It might be a little bit ugly, but there won't be any fans there to see that. I think once we get into that rhythm, people know how to play basketball. They're going to play basketball, and the level's going to increase just like it always does, game after game. And by the time we get to the point where the playoffs are starting, and hopefully we'll have some kind of opportunity for the NCAA tournament. Right now we do. I think you're going to see some really good basketball like you usually do.
Yeah. What is the schedule going to look like? I think you guys will just be conference only, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's still being talked about. I think the fact that we now have that 50% rule that is going to play into whether or not the kids get a free year, so to speak. If we play more than half our schedule, meaning 13 games, we're allowed to have 25. Or 26 if you count that playoff. But if we have 13 games, then we have played a season according to the NCAA this year. If we play 12, then the season doesn't count towards their eligibility, and that means that those kids can play in one more year. So I think we're really trying to see as a conference and in individual schools what we want that to look like. I'm leaning towards wanting to play as many games as possible. Knowing that we probably won't be able to play our full schedule, meaning not every conference game twice. The reason I say that is that, I think I already have a kid that's quarantined. She hasn't even had a practice yet, and she can't practice for 2 weeks because she was exposed to somebody that has COVID. She tested negative, but she's, still quarantined right now. And I think we're going to see things like that are going to make it difficult for us to actually get all those games in. A lot like you saw with some professional sports where you saw some outbreaks or some people being quarantined and they couldn't get that game in. So I would be surprised if we get all the games that we want. I'd be very happy if we do. I just don't know if we'll be able to, given the circumstances as we see it now.
Does it kind of help maybe to have the mindset of like, let's thread the needle, let's hedge the bets, play 12 and then, have playoffs. And if we don't, then we could have, then kind of great in a way that you can have a season, but technically not.
I think so. I think a lot of coaches are leaning that way. I'm in a little bit different position in that a lot of the kids that I have for majors, they're not going to choose to do a fifth year. My nurses are going to be certified to be nurses. Somebody like Brooke Bonasic is not going to come for a fifth year.
Because we need them.
Well, exactly. Well, not just that, but she can get a job. There's no reason for her to stay a fifth year. And she wasn't preparing to do that either. Mary Rourke is going to be a teacher. She's going to get right into the market as well. So for those two seniors, for me to say, let's hold back so that we can have a fifth year for some kids, I'm cheating games from those two, And so I personally, and not every coach in the conference feels this way. Maybe if I had a bunch of kids that wanted to do fifth years or I had a lot of seniors that wanted to come back, I would be singing a different tune. But as of right now, I just want to play as many games as I can. And honestly, we'll probably be at 12, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you really think of the averages, maybe we'll end up at 12 anyway. So I say try to play as many as we can and see where the chips fall. And that's not the philosophy of everybody, and I don't blame them for that. Like even Coach Foster has a lot of kids that are on 5-year programs.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't blame him, and I certainly wouldn't not understand where he was coming from if that's what he wanted to do. And it's going to have to be a consensus of all of us, I would think, even simply for Title IX reasons, that we would have to agree that this is how we're going to move forward. And we haven't decided that yet, unless
Yeah.
nobody told me. I don't know. That could be too.
The flip side of this being the last chance for the seniors and maximizing what they can get out of this year is that this, no matter what, is just going to be amazing experience and perspective and adversity to overcome and go through for your freshman class. There's nothing
Absolutely.
but positives that can come out of this year for them from
I
a
agree.
basketball standpoint. How important is that?
I completely agree with that. And I actually had 2 sophomores in my office, socially distanced with masks on, having a conversation about how this is a unique opportunity. And I don't think of myself as an overly optimistic person. I think I'm very much a realist, and I really think that this is a great opportunity for individual development. It's a great opportunity to take a look at things from a different perspective and see the importance of things. And I've spent my entire life, adult life in particular, but most of my life in general, with basketball being the anchor, the thing that drove me, the most important thing. And as I get older and I have more experience, these guys don't have 50 years of experience, they have not even half of that. I realize the importance of basketball has less to do with the sport, right? It has to do with the experiences, the things you learn from it. And I find that right now, the experience that we're having goes beyond basketball. We have to deal with things that are real and really more important than basketball. And that's hard coming from somebody that spent their whole life with basketball being the most important thing. It's not the most important thing. It's certainly not the most important thing right now. So I think this is putting things in perspective for us, and that's important. Very important.
I'm sure you might be able to see we scroll throughout the bottom of the show. Keep your distance. We lead the show with a little rendition of a song about keeping your distance. We remind people all the time, the mask wearing, how it really takes us all to keep this thing going. Thor
Absolutely.
Brochu at the beginning talked about we have a game plan. Bill Villarreal said the same thing. It's about executing,
Right.
and about taking these things seriously, taking this pandemic seriously.
Absolutely.
I'm going to just kind of give you the floor here because I know taking it seriously, I know this is something that's incredibly personal for you.
Yeah. And I apologize if I do get emotional. But I lost a sister to this pandemic, and she was only 45 years old. And it took all of 4 days of her in the hospital to leave us. And she died alone. And it's a terrible thing, So for me, we actually put her to rest this weekend. She died in April. For me, it's very personal and it's very real. And it's very frustrating for me to see others that don't think that it's real, because it hasn't touched them. I also understand that there is a large range of how severe this is. There are people that get this and don't even know they're sick, and there are others that die from this disease. And I think that complexity it leads to the complexity in how we look at the disease and how important we think it is to wash our hands and to wear masks and to keep distance. And it certainly is different when you have experience, whether it's age that's giving you that experience or it's the experience of losing somebody you love. I don't want to overemphasize how important everything is because I do think my team is taking it seriously. I think part of the seriousness that they take in this is knowing that I personally have experience and they see it on my face when I talk about my sister. And I just hope that the rest of the community continues to do the things that they need to do because I wear a mask for you, Andrew. I wear it for everybody else, and that's what, for me, the symbol of wearing a mask is that I care about you more than I care about the discomfort of having this on my face. And I just hope that all of us can think of it a little bit more that way. And I think we'll all be a little bit better off, not only because we will in a tangible way, we're protecting, but that we're also sending a message of like community and caring. And I think that that's important in this divided time that we live in too. So yes, for me, symbolically, that's what the mask means to me. And I keep saying that to my kids. I said it last night in practice. I said, I'm keeping my distance from you and I'm keeping this mask on because I care about you more than I care about this discomfort.
Yeah.
So.
You nailed it on the head there. I know we've said it before. I know people have said it to you privately. I'll say it publicly. This community here at Salve, we obviously tremendously care, like you said, about you, and obviously are all just tremendously saddened and sorry for your loss. And
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I know the type of person you are. You continually find a way to take any situation and draw strength from it. and
Do we have a choice? Right? Do we have a choice though? I don't think we do.
It's hard for some people though to do that. And so I think the way you've taken everything and how you've used it as a way of inspiring other people and your athletes is just incredible. So
thank you.
I
appreciate
wanted
that.
to thank you for that.
Thanks.
All right. And Cori, I think we're just going to end there. I
like it. I got practice in 10 minutes. So
practice.
That's perfect. Practice
Talking about
4.
practice. You know what? Talking about practice, I think we have somebody here who wants to talk about practice.
Love it.
Oh, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We talking about practice, man.
We've had that in the tank. You know what? There's a perfect time to use that.
Every coach loves that. Oh boy, man! You got gamers and you got practice players, right? I just want both. Can I get both?
Yes.
I want them to show up for both.
All right, Cori. I'm going to let you get to practice. Thank you for coming on here again today, and look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Have a good day, you guys. Have a good weekend.
All right. That's Cori Hughes, the head coach of South Virginia's women's basketball team. We're going to take a short break and be back with the producers to wrap up today's show and send you into the weekend. Don't go anywhere.
So you want to be a Seahawk? Let's make sure you wash your hands, keep your distance, wear your mask, and love your Seahawks.
Sammy, no mask?
Come on, Sammy. I know it's pumpkin spice season, but you can't bring drinks to class.
We have simple rules here, Sammy. Get out. Come back when you can follow them.
You gotta take care of yourself and others, even if you are Sammy the Seahawk.
What's up, Salve students?
It's Sean Johnson
and Andrew East.
We can't wait to join you guys on Friday, October 2nd at 7 p.m.
We're going to be joining you on WebEx to do a Q&A session brought to you by the Campus Activities Board. Can't wait to see you there.
All right, welcome back to Seahawk Talk. I'm your host, Andrew Pizzelli. We're going to bring back in the producers now, Mike DeFusco and Joey Morelli. Fellas, I know you guys have been working greatly behind the scenes. What are your thoughts from today's show and what we heard from our guests?
So I just really I have this part quoted right here, just I wear a mask for you. I just feel like that's just, I mean, to really put it all into one just like phrase, like that really is it. I mean, it's a courtesy to other people. That's all it is. If you're thinking like, oh, why should I wear a mask? Just think of it like that, like you're wearing it for other people. So, I mean, that to me was like the highlight of today's show. So,
Joey, the mute bug bit you today.
Okay. I was gonna say, yeah, I absolutely agree with that too. God, maybe mute now. I've lost my train of thought. But yeah, that just what Coach Hughes said was so powerful. Like, it's like, and it's not even that like much of a discomfort to wear a mask. So like, yeah, like you wear, like I'm a perfectly healthy 20-something, who like if I get it, I probably won't die. So like I could, not wear a mask and like I don't care if I get it because I'll probably be fine. But I don't want to spread it to other people. Like I could have it right now and be asymptomatic, and like I don't want to get other people sick because it's just like the nice thing to do. And like, yeah, it's just so powerful just thinking about like you do it for other people, man. Like just common courtesy.
The discomfort thing, I think Coach Villarreal said it on Tuesday. He's like, I wore a mask for like 5 days in a desert. I think you can wear a mask for a couple of hours during the day.
It's really not that bad.
Not that hard. Yeah. And yeah, Mike, that's the perfect quote to pull. We're doing all of this for you. Yeah, I think that was a message way back when we read the statement. I think it was from Syracuse University. It was like their first day, people back on campus. They had some huge party, and the president came out and said, listen, like, we need you guys to all be better. Everybody's expecting you to fail. So be better. This is about respecting each other and respecting all the people who put in all the work throughout the summer to give you this opportunity. Don't screw it up. Everybody around you is doing so much for you, so you can do the simple thing to just put on the mask.
Yeah.
Right.
Mike, I think you said you had some pictures you wanted to share.
Yes, I did. There's some windsurfing that I'm going to get to that went on at Third Beach. But just to go off that safety thing, I wanted to mention 47 Newport County businesses received perfect scores on coronavirus inspections, actually.
Wow.
So like that,
Mike.
Joey, no.
Okay.
We'll okay. You know what? We'll communicate better on that. Okay. Wait, let me share the screen. You can
show the screen. It's cool.
You can run us. Yeah, you can.
Perfect scores.
All right. Well, you can run us through this list. What's it called? If I go down to like Newport, you'll see all these businesses right here. Are all completely fine and COVID free. I apologize to Joey once again.
Yeah. For like windsurfers. I was like, okay, cool. I'll talk about the businesses.
Is this just on Aquidneck Island? Is this list from, or are there more
Newport
businesses?
County.
Newport County.
Oh, whatever counts as Newport County. And it's not all of the businesses. Like I was looking at, I didn't see what do you call it? Like I didn't see Crew Cafe or any of those. I think those are like a separate group. But yeah, 47 groups or businesses that they checked, and they all got perfect scores, which is pretty awesome. Perfect scores. Like, good job, Newport County.
It's interesting. I see in there GameStop. It's just those are the types of places you wouldn't. I mean, you don't think about, but like those are the types of places that people generally, when you go in, you are going in to hang out. You're gonna go like, well, let me see what the new games are. Let me try out the PS5. So let me play the console, and that's the type of stuff that I wouldn't even conceive of doing. I would never cross my mind that I got to worry about GameStop, and their COVID policies. But there they are, perfect score.
Yeah, got to be happy for Newport on that one. And then yes, I'll get to this one as well, the windsurfing picture, because I just thought this was cool. I've never actually seen this in person, but after looking at these pictures, I really hope I can go catch this one day. See this guy right here. Yes, looks like there's a good amount of people. I didn't know it was this popular thing around here, but yeah, you see this guy. There's one really cool one. Yeah, you can really see how high up they get. I wanted to get to this one because you can see up there just like how extreme of a sport this really is. But just wanted to highlight that these are all in the Newport Daily on their Facebook and Twitter. If you guys want to go take a look for yourselves.
I'm always so interested with this on, how they actually the control it takes to comfortably do this and not just get totally pulling away. The extreme case, I was in Bermuda and I saw a guy windsurfing who must have been an amateur. Must have been a guy who came down. He paid the guy $100 to like, yeah, I want to windsurf, and he got out so far, and eventually he was like being like lifted up into the air, and he just let go of the thing. He must have just said like, there's no way. He just let go of the thing and said, instead of being flown out into the Atlantic, I'm just gonna let go of this thing. I'll eat the money on on whatever this is going to cost me, and I'm gonna have the boat come get me. Please come get me. I was
Yeah,
watching the lifeguards. Like, are you guys gonna go get him? Like, I think he's kind of past the point. I don't think he knows what he's doing. Yeah, I give those guys credit. I see them over here too in Narragansett. It's awesome. I don't know if I'd ever do it.
Yeah,
you on the Block Island.
I thought you meant like the people with the thing with the sail on like the surfboard type thing. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Oh, that's sail boarding.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, no, Joey, I agree.
The beginning of the Miami Vice Open.
Yeah.
No, I had a similar idea as you too, Joey. I was like windsurfing, and then this came up. So
I forgot that was called windsurfing. I thought that had a different name. But yeah, that's
it's like parasailing. I thought, but anyway.
Yeah.
They're all cousins. They're all cousins.
Yeah.
I
don't know if I'd do that. It seems cool, but kind of scary.
All right, guys. Hey, great work today. Look forward to talking to you guys on Monday, and hope you guys have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too.
All right, that's Mike DeFusco and Joey Morelli, the producers here on Seahawk Talk. That'll do it for this week. Once again, we're live every day, 3 to 4 p.m. here on the Salve Athletics Network. If you can't catch the show live, you can watch the archive stream of the show on any of the 3 platforms we stream to: Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope on Twitter. And even if you can't get to those and you want Seahawk Talk on the go, you can subscribe to the Seahawk Talk podcast through Sounder FM or on your favorite podcasting app. Big special thanks again to our guests here today, Thor Brochu, Zech Klann, David Lund, and Cori Hughes. Had another awesome week here. Hope everybody enjoys their weekend, and we'll talk to you all on Monday.